a monkey?
In 1944, during World War II, two enemy pilots, an American and a Japanese, crash on a mysterious island and begin fighting each other. Suddenly, a gigantic hand appears, belonging to King Kong, which shocks them into stopping their fight because they realize they are facing something far beyond their war. In 1973, in the middle of citywide protests, we meet Bill Randa, the head of Monarch. He goes to Washington to meet Senator Willis and ask for funding to explore an uncharted island discovered by satellite in the middle of the South Pacific, Skull Island. Randa also requests a military escort. Since the president has just ordered the Vietnam War to end, many soldiers are available. Colonel Packard, one of the most decorated colonels in Vietnam, is given the job, though he believes it is wrong to leave the war. Randa still feels that is not enough, so he wants to hire a tracker, a former SAS soldier with no allegiance to anyone. When they meet him, he's in a bar fight. Mr. Conrad charges them 5 times more, but none of them know what he will be tracking. One thing is certain, they need his jungle survival skills. They also bring along Mrs. Weaver, a photographer who is suspicious about the expedition. The ship docks in Bangkok, and everyone arrives there. Mrs. Weaver meets the colonel, who checks her documents before she boards the ship. On the ship, Victor Neves briefs all the crew members about the island, explaining that it is surrounded by a storm system that has kept it hidden from the outside world. Mr. Conrad goes to inspect the explosives, where he meets Miss Weaver. She asks him why scientists need explosives for a geological survey. They both share concerns about Colonel Packard. Conrad asks Weaver why she is there, saying she is too qualified for the mission. When she asks him the same question, he says they offered him money. The crew enjoys themselves on the ship, while Mrs. Weaver takes photos. The soldiers are happy and having fun. Victor Neves thinks the storm is too dangerous and suggests postponing the mission, but Mr. Randa insists they continue anyway. The soldiers deploy in their helicopters toward the island. The weather is terrible, but they are the best unit for the job. They manage to fly through the storm. This is the first time people have flown over the island, and it is beautiful. Everyone is amazed. Mrs. Weaver takes photos from the helicopters. Victor Neves asks to be dropped down so the scientific expedition can begin. The other helicopters begin the survey by dropping bombs onto the ground. Suddenly, all the helicopters are attacked and crashed by Kong, scattering everyone across different parts of the island. They have seen Kong, but there are many other creatures that can kill them at any moment. It is now time for Conrad to use his jungle survival skills because they are all lost and now depend on his expertise. Colonel Packard contacts Chapman, telling him to stay at his crash site until they come for him. They need everything in his helicopter, bullets and bombs, to kill Kong. Packard and some of his men go searching for other survivors. Packard is given the dog tags of his fallen men. Furious, he confronts Randa at gunpoint and demands the truth. Randa reveals he works for Monarch. No one believed him when he warned them about the Titan threat. He says the Titans want to reclaim the world, and they should return with more men to eliminate Kong. But Packard says he himself will kill Kong. Conrad and the others search for a way off the island. They come across a giant water buffalo. One soldier points his gun at it, but Conrad tells him to lower the weapon. Mrs. Weaver takes a photo of the buffalo. Packard lets his men rest and promises them he will kill Kong. Later, while moving through a bamboo forest, they are attacked by a giant spider. One of his men is killed, but after a desperate fight, they manage to kill the spider. Conrad and the others discover a village of native people living on the island. There, they meet Hank, a pilot who crashed there 28 years earlier. Meanwhile, Chapman comes across Kong at a river. Kong goes to drink water, but is attacked by a giant kraken-like creature. Kong kills it for food, leaving Chapman amazed. Hank takes Conrad and the others into the village. The chief allows them to stay. Hank shows them the sacred grounds where the people honor Kong. He also explains the skull crawlers, massive lizard-like monsters that love to kill. Kong fights 2 of them and kills them. The group later spots a strange bird, which Colonel Packard immediately shoots dead. Hank shows them the boat he has been building from the remains of his crashed plane. They decide to help him finish it, since it is their only chance to escape the island. Mrs. Weaver takes photos of the native tribe. Later, Miss Weaver tries to help a buffalo trapped under helicopter wreckage, but Kong appears and frees it himself. Packard finds Kong's handprint on a rock. Chapman then gets attacked by one of the skull crawlers and killed. Hank pays his respects to Gunpei, the Japanese pilot from years ago. After some effort, they finally get the boat running. Hank says goodbye to the villagers, and Mrs. Weaver takes her last photo of them. Colonel Packard fires a flare so the people on the boat can locate him. Mr. Neves is carried away by giant birds. Eventually, the group reunites with Packard, who says they need to rescue Chapman, unaware that Chapman is already dead. They arrive at the skull crawler's feeding ground and are attacked. One of the monsters eats Randa alive. Several soldiers are killed before they manage to kill one of the creatures. Then they find Chapman's letter to his son and realize Chapman is dead. Colonel Packard and Conrad separate because Packard still wants to kill Kong while Conrad opposes him. Packard and his men find Chapman's crash helicopter where all the bombs are stored. They set a trap for Kong. Meanwhile, Miss Weaver finds Kong in a foggy area. Kong gently allows her to touch his face. Packard detonates some explosives and waits for Kong. Hearing the blast, Kong comes towards them. Kong unknowingly steps into a river covered in fuel, which is then set on fire. Though badly hurt, Kong fights back and takes down some of Packard's men. Conrad tries to stop them from killing Kong. Suddenly, the ground opens and the biggest skull crawler emerges. Everyone is forced to run. Before Packard can trigger the bombs, Kong kills Packard. Kong is too weak to fight, and the skull crawler easily overpowers him. However, the monster focuses more on attacking the humans than Kong. As it chases them, one soldier grows tired of running and pulls the pin from a grenade, hoping the creature will swallow him. But the skull crawler is smarter than expected. It knocks him away, and the grenade kills the soldier instead. That is when Kong returns and begins fighting the skull crawler. This is the hardest battle Kong has faced so far. He uses everything around him as weapons. At one point, the skull crawler nearly wins, but the humans distract it by shooting from the boat, while Miss Weaver fires a flare at it. Kong slams the skull crawler into a mountain. Mrs. Weaver falls into the river, and Kong uses a boat propeller blade as a weapon against the monster. Thinking it is dead, Kong rescues Mrs. Weaver, but the skull crawler attacks again, trying to snatch her from Kong's hand. Using all his strength, Kong grabs the skull crawler's tongue and rips it out, finally killing the beast. Mrs. Weaver gets up, and King Kong silently walks back into the forest. Hank finally returns home. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more recap stories.